Well, some of you guys have asked for an update as to what we've been up to for the last little while. Has it already been a year down here in Carolina? I'm ashamed to say it has. And while we miss Wyoming and the lack thereof of traffic, there's a few things needed doing down here. Like I said, probably 6 months to a year ago, my mother has been having many strokes and several different variations of strokes for pretty near 10 years now. We've been out west for all that time. Plane ticket out of Rapid City getting down here to Carolina was going to be pretty near, $1,000 if you had to jump and go in a day or two. So long story short, that's part of the reason we moved back down here. Mom's not been doing real well. She still lives on her own in the house, but health-wise, dizzy spells, it's just a matter of time until the inevitable happens. So this particular house that I'm standing on right now, no, I haven't found a house that I want yet, but this was a rental house that she had years ago. So she's kind of signed over the care and management and deeded this section off to me and my wife. But technically, we don't really want to live here. It's a small house, and as you can see, it's right on the side of the road, and the traffic does run here quite heavily. With the noise and the kids and all, we're not really keen on the idea of coming in. But what's been tying my time up is with the school. It's real hard to come out of school at, yeah, you get off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, sure. Well, that means you spend another hour and a half, 2 hours a night trying to dig up a lecture. I've been teaching American government and history. And let's put it this way, I've been teaching it from a standpoint of constitutionalism and where things have kind of gotten off track. I'm also comparing that with Marxism, socialism, and communism and kind of the danger zones thereof. So not to get on a political rant, but that's kind of the school that I teach for has given me the grace in order to do so. And it's a lot of like-minded people there. So what's been tying my time up? I introduce you to Phil. As in, if anybody has seen Groundhog Day, you relive the same day over and over and over and over again. My wife and I kind of affectionately named this Bobcat T250 Phil because I have been kind of reliving the same day with this thing. It's been a constant thorn in my side for 9 months. Back in August of 21, I bought a dead machine for $11,000, winched it onto a trailer and hauled it home from about pretty near Columbia, South Carolina, about 3.5 hours away. It looked like initially I was just going to put a computer in it. So $1,000 computer, my $12,000 budget was met at that point. Boom, okay, I'm up and running. No. $1,000 computer in this sucker, and that was only the start of the trouble. Complete and total hydraulic rebuild. What had happened was it had fragged the actual hydraulic pump. Somebody had used it, abused it for many years. I'm not even so sure they didn't sink it in a swamp down there somewhere because it originally came out of Massachusetts or somewhere. The way the mud was flowed into places in there, I'm almost wondering if this thing wasn't involved in Hurricane Sandy, 10 years ago. But either way, completely gutted it, pulled it out. I'm sorry I really couldn't bring you guys along on some of that as I kind of did it in a buddy's front yard, and it was kind of a dead, rotting carcass in his front yard for several months. Finally got both hydrostats rebuilt, the hydraulic drive motors rebuilt, the valve body rebuilt, flushed out all lines and everything from there, pulled out the engine, serviced it while it was out, pulled the fuel tank out, washed it out, redid some wiring that was scabbed up in there. What people had been doing is they've been trying to jumper between the terminals on the solenoids and try to get the thing to move or fire up. Yeah, bad idea, especially with a computer. Now this has got the lever controls in it, so it doesn't have the ACH or AC, whatever it is, computer over in the right-hand kick panel, which makes it infinitely easier to work on. And if this is easy, I would hate to see what hard is. After what I've gone through with this thing and dealing with Bobcat and service and parts and all that, I don't really have much to say nice about Bobcat. As you guys have seen before, I'm more of a heavy equipment person, not necessarily the small equipment, but not having the wrecker and the 12-ton trailer anymore, it's a little hard to haul whatever I wanted to around. So I'm reduced to old Jolly Green over there. This machine weighs 9,500 pounds as it sits. My trailer weighs about 7.5. You put 2 implements on the trailer and you get my truck involved and you're grossing 25,000 pounds. So, hey, I'm CDL'd up. I don't know about you, but it's still a heavy load, and more what I'm worried about is brakes. Old Green is running a late 80s Dana 60 front axle and a 14 bolt rear that's been converted to discs. Whenever you do a 14 bolt rear disc conversion, it usually kind of brings you down to a 3/4 ton rotor. So, like I said, you may be able to pull it with that old Cummins, but you may not be able to stop it either.